Okay, so let's talk about Antichrist. What is it? Is it real? And if so, what should we be doing right now? If you want to learn more about these things, and keep yourself informed, stay tuned. So first off, let me ask you this question. Do you feel like the world is getting crazier? I mean, just think about how crazy it was just a few months ago. And now look at the state of affairs today. Now compare that with what the Bible has to say about the last days and ask yourself, do you think the Bible could be wrong? You see, Jesus taught that there will come a period of time that will be immediately preceding his return. It will be marked by wars and rumors of wars, nation rising against nation, earthquakes in various places, and widespread lawlessness. People's love will grow cold, and the gospel must be preached throughout the world as a witness to all nations. And then Jesus said, "When you hear of wars and rumors of wars, do not go into the military service. For I am telling you, this will not be a time for a ceasefire." So I think it's safe to say that the Bible clearly tells us that things will get crazy in the last days. But aside from all this craziness going on around the world, there's another thing that happens during the last days, and that's the emergence of the Antichrist. In fact, it's very likely that this person has already been born. So who is the Antichrist? Well, according to the Bible, the term Antichrist is found 4 times in the New Testament, solely in the first and second epistle of John, where John talks about several things. First, he says that Antichrist will deny both the Father and the Son. And secondly, he says that Antichrist is the one who has denied that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh. Now, some people interpret these passages to mean that Antichrist is a single individual, and others interpret them to mean that Antichrist is a collective term referring to all those who oppose Christ. But regardless of whether Antichrist is one person or a group of people, what's important to remember here is that the term Antichrist literally means against Christ. And this person or group of people will come to oppose Christ, both in the sense of opposing his teachings and also opposing his return. Now we find another related concept in Matthew chapter 24 and Mark chapter 13, where Jesus is talking to his disciples about what will happen in the last days. And in this context, Jesus warns his disciples that false prophets will arise and perform great signs and wonders, so much so that they will deceive even the elect if possible. These false prophets, according to Jesus, will claim to be the Christ, but they won't be. And while some people might think that these false prophets are the same as the Antichrist, others argue that they are merely part of the Antichrist's ranks. Think about it this way. If the Antichrist is a military force, then these false prophets are the foot soldiers who do their bidding. Now there's another passage in the book of Daniel that describes a king who will arise in the latter days and do valiantly, but not by his own power or by his own might, but by the mouth of many. Now, some people interpret this prophecy to mean that this king is the Antichrist. Why? Well, because he comes from humble beginnings, but then becomes powerful, and he does so by deception. But if this is true, then I think it's safe to say that this king isn't the Antichrist either, because he doesn't fit the literal definition of the word Antichrist. After all, if Antichrist is one person, then this king would simply be one of his subordinates. Then there's the man of sin, which Paul the Apostle described in his second epistle to the Thessalonians. He said that this man will oppose and exalt himself above everything that is called God or is worshipped, so that he sits in the temple of God pretending to be God. And remember, this passage says that the coming of this man is according to the working of Satan. With all this in mind, it seems clear that the man of sin is exactly who the Bible describes as Antichrist. And if this is true, then Antichrist is someone who will sit in the temple of God, falsely claiming to be God, and he will do so by the power of Satan. Now, that brings us to another prophecy made by John in his book of Revelation. He said, "Then I saw a beast rise up out of the sea. It had 10 horns and 7 heads, and on its horns were blasphemous names. And the beast that I saw was like unto a leopard, yet its feet were like those of a bear, and its mouth like that of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, his seat, and great authority. I saw 3 of those evil spirits in the mouths of the dragon, and they are spirits of demons, the spirits of kings of the east. And the 7 heads that you saw on the beast are 7 kings. And the beast that is, and was, and will be yet, for the rest of the beast's lives, is one of the 7 kings. And the beast which I saw was allowed to go out to battle, and it was allowed to conquer for a short time. Now, most people agree that the beast mentioned in this passage is the same as the man of sin, which is the same as the Antichrist. Why? Well, because it fits the description of Antichrist given in the other passages. You see, the Bible says that the Antichrist will sit in the temple of God and blaspheme God. And the beast is described as being in the temple of God, blaspheming God, and having the number of the beast is 666. Then the Bible goes on to say that the beast will conquer for a short time, and this aligns with the idea that the Antichrist will rule for only 3.5 years before he is defeated at the Battle of Armageddon. Now, some people believe that the Antichrist is just a symbolic figure that represents all the evil in the world, and that's a possibility. But what I believe is that the Bible is quite clear when it says that the Antichrist is a real person who will oppose Christ and will do so both in the sense of opposing his teachings and also opposing his return. So if you're wondering if Antichrist could be the reason why the world is getting crazier, well, the answer is yes and no. You see, the Bible never says that the world will become crazy until Antichrist appears. But it does say that the world will get worse as we approach the time of the end. So the craziness that's happening in the world today isn't the result of Antichrist, but it is a sign that we are living in the last days. So who is Antichrist? Well, he's the person who will deny God and set himself up in God's place. He'll be the leader of a world government that will persecute Christians and will attempt to destroy the church. And he'll be a charismatic leader who will deceive many people into following him. So what should we be doing right now? Well, first of all, we need to be aware of the signs of the times and be prepared for the return of Jesus. We should also be praying for the lost and sharing our faith with them so that they can be saved. Secondly, we need to be steadfast in our faith and not allow ourselves to be shaken by the things that are happening in the world. Remember, the Bible tells us that the love of many will grow cold, but that's not an excuse for us to do the same. We need to remain faithful to Christ no matter what happens. Finally, we need to be watching and waiting for the return of Jesus because the day is coming when we will all stand before God and give an account for what we have done in our lives. So now is the time to get your life right with God and make sure you're ready for His return. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and comment down below and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and comment down below and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this.